Locations: Vergen. The town in the north of Aden was founded by dwarves who established mines in the surrounding hills. As was their custom, they carved their homes and public edifices directly into rock formations, granting Vergen a unique architectural style. The town was an important trade center, one of the roads through it leading into the country's interior. Humans had also attempted to settle in the area, but the disturbances that plagued the Pontar Valley left most of their villages burned and in ruins. Nevertheless, when we arrived in Vergen, it was teeming with humans in addition to its mainly dwarven population. Saskia's peasant rebels and a group of Adanian nobles had made camp there and promptly began to measure each other with menacing glares. Meanwhile, older groups that had assembled in the area were mistrustful of Yova's Skoyatel, who strove to keep to themselves with unmistakably elven aloofness. Truly, if not for Hansel's army making camp nearby, the whole rabble would have been at each other's throats in no time. Vincent Traut, the owner of Selkirk's armor, was an officer in Hansel's army. Suspected as an accessory to the conspiracy against the king's life, Vincent Traut was hiding somewhere. Though Geralt wanted to solve things amicably, Vincent was less than eager to cooperate. On top of that, he decided to commit a fancy form of suicide by attacking the Witcher. Left with no choice, Geralt sent him to the great beyond. The Visionary. During my travels I have seen many prophets, preachers of divine truth, who frothed and gibbered foretellings about the end of the world, depravity of women, lechery of kings, and rising taxes. The visionary extolled the martyrdom and sanctity of Sabrina Glavisic, and these ideas had become the foundations of a local cult. Supposedly, the sorceress's favor made him invulnerable and safe. However, there was no way to decipher how much truth lay in his tales. One theory to explain his invulnerability ascribed wooding qualities to the suet used to make his candles. Indeed, their scent would keep even ghouls at bay. There was a relatively simple explanation for his art and faith. The visionary was none other than Yahon, the soldier who had ended the sorceress's suffering by piercing her with a spear during the execution. That event had changed his life and guided him down the path of prophethood. Skalen Burdon. Cestus' nephew, the young Skalen Burdon, had been taken in by the older man after the lad's parents perished in one of the non-human massacres that occurred in Eden. As friendly, hard-working, and efficient as his uncle, Skalen took it upon himself to act as Vergen's official representative in his uncle's absence, providing all newcomers to the town with any information or assistance they needed. Elthon. This inhabitant of a hut near the quarry had one of the oddest jobs I've ever heard of. Namely, Elthon served as a purchasing agent for a collector of harpy feathers, offering the Witcher generous sums for pinions and rectrices, whatever that is, picked from the carcasses of harpies. As it turned out, Elthon was not buying feathers for a collector, but for himself. With a sack full of plumage Geralt supplied, he finally fulfilled his dream of transforming himself from an ugly duckling into a swan, or more precisely, a queen harpy. Although they are not yellow. Dandelion. In hindsight, the pamphlet against Hansel's rule could have been better written, yet I am pleased with it anyway. I'm not accustomed to ignoring human misfortune, and Hansel made a mistake when he insulted art. I was merely the instrument of its retribution. Zoltan Chivay. Everyone's patience has limits. Thus it should not be surprising that he eagerly took the chance to leave Hansel's camp and head to Vergen. Glossary. Other. Wild Hunt. According to the notes of a sorcerer who spent his entire life studying the phenomenon of the hunt, there is a mysterious power behind the wraith host's incursions into the world. Mages remain silent about the hunt, as if beset by a horde of tongue-hungry cats. The silence from so many learned minds was as telling as words, but you'll not learn any more on this subject from me within this tale. The poem, The Song of the Hunt, is a book as rare as a hen's teeth, and a pile of rubbish about the hunt at the same time. Experts on the subject are willing to kill for that item, but fortunately there are not many of them. The multi-layered narration sends the reader into the world of the author's rich imagination, where each verse equals another interpretation. Truth mingles with fantasy in that work, but there is nothing of interest there for one researching the hunt.